Great. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here and to host this A to B summit. This is the maiden summit, as you have heard in video, and our moderator has also shared. I'd like to say thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. We're a bit behind schedule, but I'm sure we'll try and make out the time so that you can all go back to your various activities. Audacity's to Be Summit, what does it entail? This is born out of a passion for the youth until some of my friends decided that it's not just for the youth. The adults also need to be audacious in whatever they are doing. So, my pleasure to speak with you. What it entails, it's being confident, not being rude. We just want to see how we can carve out a niche for ourselves and how we can be relevant in the society and in whatever we do. It also about being bold and not being intimidated. We want to take courage. I searched all over the scriptures and I realized that courage is essential for us to be able to fulfill our duties. And God also encourages us that He hasn't given us the spirit of fear, but of a sound mind. So we want to see how can we be bold and not be intimidated? How can we be confident so that we can actually become what God has ordained us to be? Audacity to be is also determining to be the best version of yourself and being bold about it. The best version, which means that every day, every week, and every time you keep improving on yourself. You keep improving on your skills. You keep improving on your business. You keep scaling up. That is what Audacity to Be is. It's also being a fearless adventurer that is taking risk repeatedly, even when you're afraid, until you are no more afraid. So Audacity to Be is ensuring that you're a fearless adventurer. And it's also about learning and being confident to ask questions, asking yourself questions, asking others questions on how you can be better so that you can learn. And I particularly like what Ben Carson did when he was regarded as the dumbest person in the class. And he says, is there any reason I can't be the smartest kid in the class? And that was one of the things that propelled him forward. So in essence, we want to see how we can be bold, be confident, be the best version of ourselves, be a fearless adventurer, and then learn how to ask questions from people and from yourself in order to be better. So why do we have to be audacious? That's the question that came to my mind as I was preparing for this summit. Why? What is the essence of it? The first reason why you have to be audacious is because there's a problem you were created to solve. God didn't just give you to your parents to just come and fill the earth. He puts a solution in you for a particular group of people, for a particular group of persons, for a unit or for a nation or for a state or for your local government. So there is a solution that you are meant to solve. And you cannot be a solution provider if you are not confident, if you are not focused. The second reason why you have to be audacious is to become a person of influence. It is essential that each and every one of us influence each other positively, of course. Influence your neighbor, your children, your peers, influence them to be the better version of themselves. And again, we need to be audacious because we need to be successful, making gradual progress in every area of our lives. People will term success these days as having a lot of money, being the biggest person around. Yes, that's part of it. But I term success as being fulfilled, accomplishing a goal. It could be a goal of I want to save 1 million a year, I want to save 300,000 a year, I want to save 365,000 a year. Or it could be a goal that I want to get a certification. It could be a goal that I want to buy a land, if that is what you consider success. It could be starting a new business. Whatever it is that is your goal, as long as you are making gradual progress and you are accomplishing that goal, then you are successful. And it is also not giving up halfway, as others depend on you. So when you talk about success, you are talking about somebody that started and saw it through till you finish. And it's also about working on yourself, scaling up, upscaling, deliberate networking. That is what I regard as success. Now, the reason you also have to be audacious is to set yourself up for that success, to prepare for where you want to be. And we're going to be talking a lot about that from this afternoon till tomorrow when the conference continues. So those are the reasons why you need to be audacious. You are created to solve a problem. You need to become a person of influence. You need to make gradual progress in whatever you're doing, and you need to prepare for where you are going. Then the question again, how do I become audacious? How? Because you need to be different. So how do you become audacious? Dare to be different. Do everything in an excellent way, whether it's an assignment, a chore that you're doing, a role that you're given. When you do this in an excellent way, you're actually setting yourself up for success and for great referrals. Ben Carson's mom said one thing again. It looks like we're going to be referring to him. It's something that changed the sons forever. He said, I walk among the rich people. All right, people who are educated. I watched how they act, and I know they can do anything they want to do. And so you can. So that helped Ben Carson to. Okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Our speaker for today, because I'm already looking forward to creating my vision board. Interestingly, I just write it somewhere. But today now I have to create a vision board, thanks to Audacity to Be Summit, that is going to help me to do that. So our speaker for today is Adesua Ehinome Ilobe, who is a thoughtfully spontaneous catalyst who believes that reading and writing are superpowers that could be used to change the world for the better. So you see, you can even learn how to read and write from this vision board. As a satirist, she loves to help writers find their voices and styles and create leverages for them to launch out. She facilitates an organization called Satire Africa with a mission to help readers and writers succeed, which has morphed into Satire Africa Foundation, a mission that uses reading and writing to spread the gospel of Jesus. Adesua is also an author who has 3 books, so she's kind of my mentor in terms of being an author. She already has 3 books. I only had 1, and it took me several years. 2 of which are Christian fiction, a journey she embarked on in 2021. She's also a pro-earth, anti-climate change enthusiast and a business career strategist who loves to come up with new ideas, products, and infamous solutions. We're here to learn. Adesua's favorite mantras are courage is never the absence of fear, so just do it. And I do not believe anyone was created to do one thing. That's Adesua for you. So we're all created to do more than one thing, which is one of the reasons why you're here at the Audacity to Be Summit. She loves to work with children. She's a passionate development and legal practitioner who designs and sews pretty dresses. Wow. She loves great music, gospel and high life in particular, dancing, and all things plantain, fried, boiled, and roasted. Adesua recently started to try her hands on painting. I mean, this speaker is encouraging me to be many things to many people. She loves to work with children. She's a legal practitioner. She's a development practitioner. She loves music and all of that. This is intimidating. So I'm going to create a vision board for myself to be many things to many people. So as we welcome Adesua today, who is going to help us with our vision board, I also welcome everyone joining the summit. Maybe this is your first time joining. All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Kola Olubodi. Good morning, Joy. Good morning, technical crew at the background. Damilola, you're fantastic. Good morning. Good morning, Adesua. I'm here to see Adesua online. I'm excited to be here. And good morning, everyone that is joining us on Facebook Live for day 3 of Audacity to Be Summit. This is awesome. We've had day 1 trying to establish what Audacity means and what it entails, and it was awesome. Brokola, I don't know if you joined us then, but it was amazing. And yesterday we did a vision board. So while we're waiting for our audience or for everyone online, let me show you a preview of my vision board. Doesn't have pictures yet, but I intend to put a lot of pictures later so that it can be more exciting when I look at it. We had developing a vision board for, I only did 2022 yesterday. So I'm planning to do for 2 years later on, and maybe 5 years, so that I can be looking at what I want to become in the next 2 years or in the next 5 years. But today is amazing. So, Rokola, I'd like you to say hello to our viewers.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon from whatever you are, where you have joined us. Maybe it is midnight. Good midnight.
That's
All right.
amazing. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to be here.
It's amazing. I'm excited that you're with us today, and I know we're going to have a great time. So before we move on, Joy, would you like to say hello as well, because you are our 2 speakers today? Hello, Joy. You are muted.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah. Hi. Good morning.
Welcome to day 3. You are
Yes.
here and you joined us from day 1, day 2, day 3. I say welcome. If you're just joining us, it's okay. You can still go back to the previous videos and catch up on it. I look forward to speaking with you later. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joy. Joy is our second speaker today. It's 10:02, so we'll dive right into it. And I'm going to introduce our first speaker. So I'll encourage us to mute if we're not the ones speaking now. So we can, yeah, great. Thank you. I'm going to introduce our first speaker and we'll delve right into it so that we can maximize time today. The first speaker is Kola Olubodi. It actually feels strange calling you by your first name, but I'll try to do that for just for this hour. So
No
please,
problem.
audience, bear with me when I switch from Kola to Brokola because I've been used to calling him that forever. You'll get to know how I know him after I've introduced him. Kola Olubodi pioneered the background check international. Yeah, the background check industry in Nigeria, and is currently the CEO of Background Check International. You will soon know why he's the one to speak with us today. He is the Africa's leading background check expert and the chairman, board of trustees of the Association of African Professional Background Screeners. Kola is a fellow of the Institute of Information Management Africa and also the first African member of the National Association of Professional Background Screeners, NAPS USA. Kola is the author of Through It All, a blogger, workshop, and conference facilitator, a public speaker, a pastor, and a preacher. So this is our first speaker for today, but this one it was written. Let me say the one that I know so that you know the person that is speaking with us. I met Brocola in the university. It used to be University of Ife. It was when I entered that they changed the thing to Obafemi Awolowo University. So anyway, we met in OAU, and I happened to be their chief bridesmaid when the wife and Brocola was getting married, because the wife is my friend. Brocola is my friend. So sometimes I don't know where to even put myself in between the two of them. Anyway, we have been friends and we have become families, and he has become my egbomi. That's what I call him. And the reason I feel he's the best person to speak with us today is because he's a man that has dared everything. When you're talking about audacity, Brocola has the audacity to do anything. I mean, for somebody to lead and to pioneer the Background Check International here in Nigeria, and also to still be the first African member of the National Association of Professional Background Screeners in US, you will know that this man has audacity to do anything. So when we started the first day and saying audacity is also making sure that you are a fearless adventurer, this is a fearless adventurer that I present to you today. And yesterday, Adesua mentioned that we need to, our dreams and our visions need to intimidate us. His dreams and his visions is intimidating not only to him, but for those of us that are around him. And he has been able to achieve it. So today, Brocola is going to speak with us on developing character for success. And because he has done all of this, and I've seen him with the characters, I've seen him being audacious to start something and see it till the end. That's why he's here today to speak with us. I'm here to learn, and I hope all of us are also here to learn. Like Joyce said on day one, who was our moderator, please get your notebooks, write as much as you can, and when you finish, go back to those notebooks so that you can become a person of great influence in your society and within your sphere of influence. So today I present to us our first speaker, Kola Olugbodi, the CEO of Background Check International. Over to you, Brocola. Thank you very much for joining us today.
All right. So nice day to every one of us once again. Sorry. All right. Okay. Okay. So the new year to us. Yeah, I listened, even though I didn't join live, but I listened to the talks on day one, and then of course part of day two, and it's really been very, 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 I mean, wonderful. This is a good way to start a new year. So thank you so much, Fumi, for putting this together. So developing character for success. I was thinking, okay, how do I approach this? Should I teach? Should I? So I decided that, okay, I'm going to still give us some points, but maybe the best way you can understand all we're talking about when we talk about audacity to be, or to tell you that you achieve your goals and become successful. I think I should just start with my story, and then I'll give you some points that I feel is going to really take you far. And of course, some of the points we actually come out from the story I'm going to share with you. Um, all right. When I was born, I was like every other normal human being. I was born complete. I could run, I could jump until I was 2 years old. And I had this, I had polio, like I was told by my mother. And then when polio came, at first my two legs were paralyzed, and I was taken everywhere. And on the long run, life came back to my right leg. But as I still sit in front of you this morning, my left leg is still absolutely, completely dead, except a miracle happened before this program is over. All right. So my life started with my life ended, let me say it that way, even before it started. Um, it was obvious I was not going to be able to do what everybody even can do. I may not be able to achieve some things I would think I want to do in life. And so I was growing up being indulged so much at home. I'm not allowed to do any hard chore. I can't sweep. I can't fetch water. I can't do anything that looks so hard. And of course, I enjoy it because it was like, okay, I'm I'm the one that everybody is idolizing and worshiping here, you know. Until I got to, I think I when I attained my 8th year age, I remember that year our parents took us to our village somewhere in Osun State in Nigeria. And the Christmas of that year coincided with the village masquerade festival. And one of those days, I went out with some of my cousins and one of my uncles and two of my siblings, if I can remember very well. And of course, the intention was just to play around, try and visit some uncles and aunties in the village. When we got to the market square of the village, we had this drumming coming from nowhere. And immediately the drumming started, we discovered that everybody started running helter skelter. Everybody was running for their dear life. And of course, we started trying to stop some people running, that please tell us what's happening. Why is everybody running? And one of them, even while running, screamed back to us, said, that masquerade that just came out, it's not supposed to meet anybody on the road. You better run. And of course, when we had the announcement, everyone that we left my family compound together, everybody took to their heels. Everyone ran. And then I was supposed to run also. And I remember one leg, is totally paralyzed. One just came back to life. And so I was supposed to run also. And it was a big task. And because there was fear in the air, um, my whole running was to be hopping on my right leg. And of course, I could not balance myself. So I was falling over and then screaming and crying that at least somebody should please come and help me. But that day, it was every man for himself and God for us all. You know, in the midst of the whole thing, it just occurred to me that I had a problem, that I was not going to be able to really go far in life. So that day, while everybody ran, in my very young um, heart, I started talking to myself. And the first thing I told myself, I said, oh, all right, so this is how people really behave in this world. When you have problems, um, and you think you need people most, that is when they will desert you. And then they will leave you to grapple with life by yourself. And that day I told myself, oh, so if life is like this and everybody will always leave you to sort yourself out in life, then I'm not going to trust nobody again in life. I'm going to really go through life. You know, of course, later I was building up on that thought that started that day, because everybody deserted me, I started telling myself, I'm not going to trust people again. I'm not going to go through life a weakling. And of course, from that day, something changed in my life. And I tell you, I was 8 years old, but from 8 years old, by God's grace, this year I will be 57. So for like some 49 years of my life, what happened when I was 8 years old changed the totality of my life up until now. Of course, at the point that one of the uncles that followed us, when he realized that I was so far behind, he ran all the way back, and he just bent down and said, Kola, hop on my back. I jumped on his back. Of course, by then I was really crying. And of course, I discovered I started crying again, because now it just occurred to me that in life, people will only help you when they feel that it's convenient for them, not when you think it's just the right time for you to really get that help. So growing up for me from that time, because of that scenario, everything changed for me, because I've told myself, so Kola, why did you cry? I cried because I felt deserted. Sorry, I felt my weakness was what really made me to cry most. So from that day, I told myself, no more cry, no more showing weakness, no more all those things. So from that moment, I just had this can-do spirit. And so, of course, things changed from that time. No more tell me, oh, Kola, don't do this, don't sweep, don't fetch water, don't climb that thing. I no more listen to people, because I know a time is going to come. I'm going to need you to help me fetch water, and nobody's going to be there. So I do those things myself. I never knew I was training myself for how my future was going to be. So, of course, I hope somebody is listening to me. It doesn't matter how your foundation is. It doesn't matter how your background is. It doesn't matter the challenges you have in life. If you're going to be limited in life, if you're not going to succeed in life, it's not going to be the fault of anyone. It's going to be the fault of just one person. And that person, yeah, it is you. It's going to be you. My background was rough. Nobody gave me any chance. Nobody gave me any chance. And then, of course, to add insult to injury, um, our parents gave birth to 9 of us. And of the 9, 8 of us are guys. Only the last child happens to be the girl. It was the girl that they were looking for, or searching for rather, that made them to have eight guys. And so when my father started making everyone to try their hands on his cars, of course, it started from, I think, the second one and the third. He jumped over my head, went to the fourth, to the fifth. I think those were the ones that were old enough then to drive. Then I realized he has jumped over my head, and I said, Daddy, it's my turn. And my father said, Kola, sorry, you won't be able to drive this car. It's a manual car. You will need your 2 full legs to drive a manual car. And that day he was just trying to console me. And he said, Kola, when you grow up, God will make you rich, and then you buy an automatic vehicle, and then you can drive that one with your one leg. I just smiled, because by then I have this can-do spirit, which is still in me today. A can-do spirit that tells you that nothing is impossible to do. If your mind can think it, you can do it. And that's how I grew up. That's how I trained my mind to work. And I tell you, up till the date. So if you're waiting for me to start telling you the points, how to develop character for success, let whatsoever challenge you find yourself, use it as propellant to push you forward in life. You understand? Don't make it to frustrate you. Don't find reasons to give excuses. If only you know how my background was. If only you know that my parents were poor. If only you know. If only you know. Stop giving excuses. You can do it if you can think it. You know. So when my father told me, "Oh, Kola, you won't be able to drive this manual car," you know, I smiled, but I made up my mind I was going to learn how to drive this your manual car, even if I have to learn with my one leg. So anytime my father parks his car in front of the house, I will sneak to steal the key. And then, of course, in front of the house, I will try and start. And with time, I started moving it forward and backward, trying to see the best way I can drive this vehicle. On the long run, I learned how to use my left hand to compress my left leg that is still paralyzed on the clutch, because that's the hardest pedal out of the three to actually compress. So I had to use force. And then, of course, I learned to use my right hand to change the gear. And then, so only my right hand was always on the steering. And with time, I knew how to drive that vehicle. You know, I taught myself how to drive a manual car, you know. Even though one day I almost killed myself, the first day I was going to really bring the car off my father's garage and then link the road. The car just got to a railroad and then decided to just go off, and then a train was coming and then hooting the horn, and I didn't know what to do. Thank God, before it got to me, the can-do spirit in me never even told me to abandon the car and run. I just felt, oh, I didn't tell my father I needed to take this car home so intact. And thank God that, because I believe that nothing is impossible for me to achieve, I was able to discern what I did wrong, and then change the gear to gear one, and of course put on the ignition again, pressed the throttle or accelerator like we call it now, and then the car jumped off the rail, and then the train went just at almost the same time behind me. And I know, yeah, life, the fact that there are going to be dangers does not mean that you should not venture. That is another point. Yeah, there are going to be dangers. There are going to be things that will tell you, oh, don't do it. No, don't try it. No, don't do this. But if you feel that you have anything to achieve in this world, please go for it. Go for it. My father didn't teach me how to drive. I taught myself. Then one day my mother was everyone that knew how to drive, one day they just gave her excuses. She was going to go out. She didn't know how to drive, and nobody was going to take her out that day. And of course, they didn't know many of the escapades and all those things I've done behind. And daddy, I said, Mommy, I can take you out. And you know, my mother too happens to be somebody like me that can be daring. And said, Kola, can you drive? I said, I can drive. And of course, that day I took her to where she was going, brought the car back home safely. And then it was my mother that was telling my father, Kola can drive, Kola can drive. And of course, since that day, I've been driving. All right. So that's the way I grew up. I grew up with can-do spirit. One of the character of success is that you must have that can-do spirit. It's something that's, of course, that's like what we call audacity now. Audacity to face anything. Audacity not to allow people to run you down. Audacity not to let anybody say you can't do it. Many of you believe many things so easily. They tell you you can't do it, and the next moment they ask you, so why are you not doing that? And say, my friend told me that I can't do it. It was my own father that told me I can't do it. Everybody can say anything about you, but what do you say about yourself? How do you think about yourself? How do you sort things out in your mind? If you're going to go far in life, you're going to be a success in life, you must be somebody that have this mind that will always properly, how do I put it? You properly sort things out in your mind. You just don't allow anything people tell you to be your own conclusion about yourself. Many things that people have said to me, I never allowed them to be conclusions about myself, you know? So growing up in life, I discovered I had this can-do spirit. I worked in different places until I started working in the bank. Of course, I was looking for the highest paid place to work. The first place I worked was civil service. My first salary was 600 naira. I didn't say 600,000, 600 naira. And I said, is it all I can make? So I moved to the bank. Then my salary went to 1,005, you know. And then with time, I discovered 2 weeks, the salary was gone. Then I knew something was not just right. So my head was just thinking, so what is the way out? What is the way out? And then one day I went out with some of my friends, and we were just chatting generally. And one of them almost passively just threw a Yoruba proverb just to buttress a point that he was trying to stress. And when he threw that proverb, I stopped him. I said, Joseph, this proverb, I've had it severally. I don't know the meaning. What is the meaning of this proverb? And he said Kola, you don't know. The Yoruba proverb is Ishede Omo Alashe Je, Owore Omo Alashe La. He said the meaning, the literal meaning, he said Ishede Omo Alashe Je, said work has come, now you can eat. Owore Omo Alashe La, business has come, now you can be wealthy. You know, that explanation turned my life around 360 degrees. I said, yes, this is the solution to my problem. I've always told myself, this salary does not last. I need money. So if I'm going to get money, so it is Owore Omo Alashe La. So if I'm going to be wealthy, then I needed to be in business. So from that moment, I told myself, I'm not going to work for anybody again. I'm going to be I'm going to be self-employed, you know. And of course, a lot of things happened, and then I left the bank. Of course, I knew that I was not going to search for another job, but the only problem was that I didn't know the next thing I was going to do. So I started trying a lot of businesses. Of course, I started with contract. It wasn't working out. Then the next thing that clicked was a catering contract, and my wife was into catering then. So I was helping her to market the business. She was doing the business, and I was doing the supplies. But I knew this is not sustainable because it's going to be dependent on if my wife can do it, you know. So I was still in search until I stumbled on the business, and I said, yeah, this is doable, you know. And I tried the business, and it was really doing good. It was commodity business. People were paying ahead for the commodities, and I will make use of the money, and then they will get their products later. Then at a point, the business that was doing well, making money for me, I said, yes, life is good. And then the thing just turned around again through another 360 degrees. And I was neck deep in debt. And then the business went under. And that was the beginning of a big problem in my life. Now, let me tell you some things that you need to know in life. Like we were talking about how your vision board yesterday and everything. Now you won't totally know what you're going to do. You can have an idea, but in the process of attaining and achieving whatsoever goals you have set for yourself, don't just do the bare necessity things. You have to do a lot of things. I set a goal for myself. I'm going to go into business. The only problem I have is that I don't know the business to go into. And for me to know I have to try many businesses to know what is going to work for me and what is not going to work for me. So I tried a lot of things. I want to tell you, someone there, I know some of you say, oh, this is what I want to do. Fine. But in you getting there, you may need to try a lot of things. Don't be afraid to try a lot of things. And another character you need to develop if you're going to be successful in anything in life. Don't be afraid to fail. It is only in school that they have lied to us that when you fail, then something is wrong with you. Failure is not wrong. It's not bad. Failure is part of the process. Failure is you learning how to know what you are supposed to do and what you are not supposed to do. When you fail in something, it helps you to know, okay, all right, this is not the way to do it again. And in the process of you're going to fail and fail and fail until you stumble on the right way to do the things. So I tried many things. You know, when the business failed, of course, by then, because I thought, yeah, life is good, things have come. I was married then. I had moved into one very palatial building. It was a castle, very big. It was a palace. But when the business failed, myself and my wife, we have to humbly leave that palace, and a friend gave us his boys' quarters. If somebody knows what they call boys' quarters, is the quarters that people build for their driver. If your driver is going to stay with you some days, and then before going home, you know. So the friend had to give myself and my wife the boys' quarters. And so we had nothing. We were in debt. We knew hunger. We knew not how not to have everything. We knew how how to lose friends. I know one of those days when we were going through that terrible time, Fumi came, one of the ladies I was owing. In fact, she held me by my thing like that. Said, "Give me my money." I'm not sure Fumi can remember that day. You know, you're going to go through many rough things in life. You understand? On your way to succeeding in life. When you face those things, that is not the end of the world. Use those things as catalysts to prepare yourself and say, no, it's not always going to be like this. My life is not going to remain like this. You know? So all those things happening, and then of course, like in my profile, I'm a pastor and a preacher and a believer in God, you know. So all those while I was praying. So of course, if you're going to be successful in life, another factor that you need to consider is that God factor in your life. He's the creator of everything. He's the one that knows the end from the beginning. He's the one that created you. He's the one that said, I know the thought I think towards you, thought of good, not of evil. I have a future, an expected end that I've created for you, you know. So I was not far from my creator. And when those problems started, you know, I went to God and I was so afraid. I said, God, trouble had come. What should I do? And, you know, God just led me to a story in the Bible, the story of Saul and his father. The donkeys of Saul's father got missing, and, you know, and Saul went in search of his father's donkeys, and he was going from one place to other, from Shalim to Shalisha, from Shalisha to Saul, from Saul to Ephraim. He was going all over the place. The donkeys were not found until the servant that went with him said, oh, there is a man in this place. He's a seer. A seer means a prophet. The man must be able to see for us where our donkeys are. And so Saul went to meet the seer. The seer happens to be Samuel, the prophet Samuel, famous prophet Samuel in the Bible. And you know what Samuel told Saul? He said, though you have lost donkeys, those donkeys have been found at home, but you, though you went out searching for donkeys, but the throne of Israel has been turned over to you. So Saul went in search of donkeys, but he found the throne. He found a throne. He became the first king in Israel. So God told me that they said, you have lost donkeys, scholar, but you are going to find a throne. So when every of those troubles were reigning, you know what I kept on telling myself? And you see, if you're going to be successful in life, you need to talk to yourself. You need to say a lot of things to yourself. As a man believes in his heart, so shall you be. And as you think, that is how it will turn out for you. You know, and you will have whatsoever you say about yourself. And you say what you say out of the abundance of your heart, your mouth will speak. If you don't believe you can make it in life, sorry, your mouth will be telling you, no, you can't make it. So some of my youths played ball during Christmas period. And you know, the first team gave the other one 3-0 first half. So I told someone, go and encourage that thing that is that have 0. And the guy went to cancel them. Also encouraging like that. You guys, you can do it. You are good. You know, they started saying, no, we are not good. They are better than us. See the way they are playing. In fact, we cannot beat them. They have beat us. There's no way we can do this. And that guy came back to me and said, sir, they have lost the match. That was in halftime. Oh, he said they have lost the match. They lost the match because they never believed that they can ever even win. In fact, they can't even believe that they can score. Talk less of even winning. Of course, they lost that match also. But at the point they started believing in themselves, so they started scoring. So the match finished 5-3. But many of us, you don't believe in yourself. I was in debt. I was in trouble. People were pulling me. I had police cases. Some people sued me to court. I didn't have money, but I kept on telling myself, Kola, you have lost donkeys. You will find throne. You have loved donkeys. You will find throne. And so I started trying a lot of things. I started pure water business. It did not work. I tried all these forever living products. It did not work. What else? I started becoming a cheap DSTV agent. It did not work. All right. One of my friends said, Broke, they want to do award in my office. Can you do award plaques? I say, award plaques. I can do anything. So at the point I become an award plaque, whatever, got the best guy that can do it in Lagos. He gave me his price. I doubled the price. He gave me 4,000. I doubled it 8,000. They were going to do like some 20. I was making money, but I knew I was going somewhere. I said I was going to find a throne. I was going to find a throne. I was going to find a throne. And you know, one day came, and I think it was the year 2001, when everybody was saying Happy New Year, that January. I said, nothing is going to be happy about this year unless I know the direction to go. And so I went back to that God that I spoke about before. And, you know, it just led me to a scripture in the Bible. Now, these are ways to come up with the visions of the things you need to do in life. It just led me to the Bible, Isaiah chapter 41, verse 15. And he said, I will make you into a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. You will thresh mountains, you will beat them small, and you will turn the hills to chaff. And, you know, so I started praying and I said, so God, what do you mean by this? And God said, he started speaking into my spirit, said, I'm going to start something entirely new through you in Nigeria. Nobody is doing it yet. Then he led me to another scripture. He said, foreigners will build your walls. Sons of strangers will feed your flock. And I said, God, what do you mean? And God said, those mountains that you are going to beat small, they are the categories of the clients I'm going to bring to you. They are going to be foreigners. Foreigners will build your walls. Sons of strangers will feed your flock. And so on the long run, 2 years after that, you know, I prayed 2001. 2001, the GSM started. And, you know, when it started, I just loved it and said, yes, this is a new thing. And I jumped into GSM business. I didn't have money. I joined one of my cousins. I told him, I'll be helping you to market your business. I'll be an independent marketer. I'll market it as if I'm the owner. If I get supplies, I will come and pick from you. I'll mark it up, put my own money on top, and then you get your own profit. I get my own profit. And then business started working. I said, yes, I started a new thing. God said it will make me start a new thing. And at the point, God said, no, Kola, what are you doing? I said, God, I started doing the new thing. God said, no, I didn't say you will join a new thing. I said, I will start a new thing in you in Nigeria. And so 2 years after that, God brought this idea of background check, and I just fell in love with the idea. And I started going around to tell people that I feel had been in business, people that I feel, oh, okay, this guy should be able to cancel me. And, I went around and said, I have this idea. I want to start a background check company in Nigeria. And somebody said, who is doing it in Nigeria? I said, nobody. So actually, that is the problem. Because they never thought any good thing can come from me. Because everybody just thought this guy is a dreamer and he's a failure and he's a loser. But they never knew that I kept on telling myself, I will find a throne. So that guy said, who is doing it in Nigeria? I said, nobody. He said, that is the problem. He said, if this idea is going to work in Nigeria, somebody would have been doing it before you. So the guy said, I don't think this idea is going to work. But you see, I knew God had given me the idea. I started it all by myself. I didn't have enough money. Some of the money I made from the plaque business, I used it to register the company, Background Check International. I had enough money to buy, I'm rounding off now, please. I have enough money to buy, to print letterhead, I didn't have computer, I didn't have laptop, I didn't have nothing, not to talk of money for an office. But because I was audacious, because I felt I have seen what I am going to do that will make me big in life, I don't care how it's going to start, I'm going to start. I hope somebody is learning character of how to be successful in life. I walked up to one of my cousins, the one that was into the GSM business. I said, okay, I have an idea. I don't have laptop or anything. Please, can I make use of your desktop? I want to write my proposals. And if you don't mind, I'll make use of your printer. And of course, he obliged me. So my first computer, business computer, and my first office was Kayode's sitting room. I did my proposals, used his printer to print the proposals out. Thank God that I taught myself how to drive. One of my younger brothers borrowed me one of his cars. So I will drive all around Lagos, Victoria Island. I was dropping proposals all over the place. I was dropping proposals, so I was the driver, I was the secretary, I was the business development officer, I was the CEO. I believed in myself. Nobody believed in me. People thought I was crazy. I had enough money to buy a multi-link phone then. It was all those landline, but it can be mobile. So it's always in my car. So when some of the places where I drop proposals, when they call, I will park and I will pick the phone. I'll say, hello, this is BCI. My name is Alex. Is there anything I can do for you? And they say, is there any way we can speak to your CEO? And I'll say, please hold on. And then the next voice that you will hear will say, hello, this is Kola Olugbodi. Is there anything that we can do for you? Of course, my first name is Alexander Kolawole Olugbodi. So people call me Oak now. Oak means Olugbodi Alexander Kolawole. I was, and then of course, maybe because I do drama, so it was so easy for me to bring drama. So Alex was always my secretary. He would always pick the phone. And then Kola is the CEO. And then, of course, Kola is still the driver. So my office, second office was my car. Anywhere they call meet me, I park. And in the midst of all this, will it work, will it not work? I got the first call from Unilever and say, we got your proposal. Can you come over for presentation? I said, presentation? I was so excited. I said, this idea that people said was not going to work. And I know, of course, because God said it was going to bring foreigners. So it was multinationals that first called me. And so I was not going to go alone so that they won't think it's a one-man riot squad. So I told that my cousin Kayode, you're following me for the presentation. I told that my only sister, Romoke, I said, you are following me for a presentation. I told one of my brother's wives, Laide, I said, Laide, you are following me for a presentation. When we get there, you are all smart. When they ask general business questions, anyone can answer. But when they ask background check questions, let me answer. And we did well at the interview. We first got our first job. And I said, wow, so this idea is going to work. And then I think the first client I got, second client was Fidelity Bank. The third client was MultiChoice. And, then was when I was able to loan a laptop. A friend kept a laptop with me. I started using it. And because I started using it, I promised him, I said, I don't have money to pay for your laptop, but I will give you shares in my company. And that was how I started. And then some clients said, oh, we want to come meet you in the office. And so I had to talk to an uncle that had an office around that computer village in Lagos. I said, uncle, can I make use of a room in your office? Some clients wants to come. And then of course, the uncle obliged, and that was how I got a office without paying. And anytime some big clients want to come, I will run to that uncle in his office. I say, uncle, problem has come. Somebody wants to come. They are bringing big job, but they must not see me in that side office. That uncle was so magnanimous. I call her no problem. He will leave his CEO seat and office. He will go and sit somewhere. Say, Kola, sit on my seat. And the jobs were coming in. Of course, on the long run, people came. They started investing into the business. We were able to properly put the company together, rented a proper office, and then started with like some 5 staff, And to the glory of God, we have like 100 staff now. We're going across Africa. So what am I telling you, people? You have to be dogged. Nobody's going to give you any chance in this world. You will go for it. Now I go around and people say, oh, that man, yeah, he's so smart. Yeah, he started this. But I said, okay, if I listened to those people that said, no, you can't do it, there is not going to be any call anybody today. Maybe somebody else would have come up with the idea. Then I'll begin to bite myself and say, hey, and I had that idea, but I bungled it. So let me just tell you, if you're going to go far in life, if you're going to be audacious, be ready to fight. Fight your own unbelief. Fight people that don't believe in you, and face your fight, face your battle. You understand? To the glory of God, I thank God for what is happening now. I have succeeded in life, not because I am as wealthy as I want to be. That is my next audacious goal. But I have started something that others can copy in Nigeria. Others are copying across Africa, just because I dared to dream, I dared to move, and I dared to act. In closing, let me tell you, no matter the idea that comes to you, no matter how foolish it may be, yeah, you need mentors. You need very correct, reliable mentors that is what I never got then, because nobody believed in me. So I was rugged. But you are good now. You can get very good mentors that will believe in you, but tell you the right things to do, so that you won't, Yorubas will say, forijagbo, you won't need to go through a lot of hassles for you to get to the right path. But all you must do in life, you must act. It's one thing to dream. It's one thing to set your goals. It's one thing to have vision board. But the only thing that will make anything work in your life is to act. When you fail while acting, don't take it that you have failed. It's not you that failed. It is that process that failed. I never saw myself as a failure. Even when the business failed and I was in debt, I was not a failure. It was a business that failed. So please learn to properly analyze things and put things right in yourself. I think I need to stop now. I'm not sure I've gone beyond my time. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity. When there is question, and if there's question time, I will gladly answer our questions. So Fumi, thank you so much. Thank you for this that you are doing. It's not for just youth alone. It's even for Agbalagbas also. And it's really a good way to start. Let's do more of it, even this year. And let's take it international after now. God bless you. Bye, everyone.
Wow. I have taken so much notes that my note is full. And one of the things I want to emphasize for people is one character of success is audacity. You said to develop confidence, to have the God factor, to be able to talk to yourself, but you now capped it with the only thing that will make anything to work in your life is to act. So all the stories that we've been talking about since Thursday, if you don't put it into practice, it stays on shelf 14 and nothing is going to move. Shelf 14 is a shelf where you put things. And when they say, do you have it? You dust it and bring it out. So please, anything we have learned, we should put them into practice. Incidentally, the theme of this conference is plan, implement, and then you succeed. So if you plan, you need to also implement it. And I like what you say, Brokola, that if any idea fails, it's not you that has failed. It's that idea that has failed. So pick up yourself again. You have learned one more way of not doing it. So find another way to do it so that you can also move to success. This is amazing. I'm going to open this up for questions for 5 minutes before we go to the next speaker. But thank you so, so much. Even the things I didn't remember when we were growing up, you have reminded me. And then you have also challenged me as well on some things on how to actually be audacious and have a dream and a vision that is bigger than you. I'm sure when you said you wanted to start Background Check International, I'm one of the people that say, hey, Brokola has come again. With this
Hello,
is
I hope it's not my own internet that is breaking.
okay, but I can hear you clearly. And I hope
Oh, okay.
everyone can also hear
All
me.
right.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So when you came up with the idea of Background Check International, I'm sure I'm one of the people that say, "Hey, Brokola has come again. Let's just pray for him," because pioneering something that has never been done takes a lot of courage and confidence. And I want to say thank you for being my mentor as always. Thank you so much for
Bless
this time
God.
that we've had with you. All right, question and answer at this point before Brokola runs away from us. Let's ask our questions. If you have anything you want to ask him before we move to the next speaker. Dare to move, dare to act. I mean, this is awesome. I can't see any questions. Our technical crew, are there questions on the chat box? If there are none, I want to assume that we all got the points and we wrote it down very well. And we're also still scrolling the points. So if you miss any, you can catch up on the scroll, or you can also go through the recording on Facebook, on YouTube. We'll be posting it on YouTube immediately once we're done. Okay, so all I kept hearing is, wow, what a session. All right, okay. There's a question. In all of this, you mentioned God. You went back to your creator to seek direction, but today people think they only need the connection.
Thank you, gracious. Let me tell you one secret. When I was going to start, it was God. He warned me. The only connection I needed to start was my connection with Him. I worked with many multinationals. I'm still working with them, and I have no connection. So when people tell me that in Nigeria you can't get anything done without connection, the few ones that somebody tried to connect us, it didn't work out. So when I was say, no, I know the minister of whatever, I will send you to him. I will say thank you, but I won't go. Because that's the only connection that I have. He's the one that said, I'm going to bring foreigners to your way. And it says the ills are the blue chip companies in Nigeria. And that is how he's playing out. And I will walk into those places. I was one of the multinationals, an oil company. We've been working for them for a while. And then somebody just came up and said, who introduced you to us? I said, nobody. I just walked in. He said, no, we don't do things here like that this way. Everybody comes here and it must be by referral. Of course, they took the job away from us for like 2 years. And the interesting thing was that they tried to bring some people to come do those things. For 2 years, it never worked. Then they came back to us and said, you guys come and start again where you stopped. So now it's not about connection. I mean, the only connection you need is actually with God. And that's why for some people that know me, I am not apologetic about my belief in God. Because if it had not been God that gave me the idea and started this off, there would not be any background check international. There will not be any call Olubodi. So please, I'm not apologetic about it. And I talk God anywhere. And almost all my clients know that this guy is a Christ believer and is working for me. So don't hide your belief. You understand? All right.
Thank you so much. He said, thank you so much for this clarification. You made my weekend. Let me also add to this. A lot of us also believe that it's only prayer that can make things to work. Remember what Prokola said. For you to be successful in life, you need to act. So when you finish praying, please go out there and act and implement what you have prayed about. Or when you have
Sorry for
finished
me.
acting,
Sorry for
yes,
breaking you. You know the principle we normally say. You
yes, sir.
pray as if everything you are going to do depends on prayer.
Fantastic.
And then when you are going to act, you act as if, Kai, I don't know how to pray, but it's going to be based on hard work. You understand? So you combine prayer and hard work, you get there. But if you are
Yeah.
praying and fasting, you will pray for 10 years. And if you don't act, you won't act. You won't get nowhere.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. You pray as if you don't know how to do anything, but when you finish, you also work hard as if you don't even know how to pray or fast. Well, that is awesome. Amazing. I would also say one thing before. Okay, there's another question. In all of this conversation, my question is, why is it that some old generation never believe in capacity of young people that they can be successful? All right, Brokola.
All right. Thank you for that. The problem of old generation is that when we talk about the baby boomers, they grew up to only understand that when you go to university or higher institution, you leave school and then go and work for civil service or whatever. Their head never thinks that, okay, you can go to university and come out and do something by yourself. And the idea of the old generation, which I'm supposed to belong to, unfortunately I don't, is that they don't believe that you can leave university and can have an idea and then birth it immediately. Their belief is that you must have worked some 35 years, and
Yeah.
then when you get your gratuity after 35 years, then go and start something on your own when you don't have any stuff again or strength to run. So young guys listening to me, I'm an apostle for entrepreneurship. Are you listening to me? I'm an apostle for entrepreneurship. Yeah, seek for the jobs. Auntie Fumi is a HR expert, so she will fight with me if I say don't look for job. Yes, look for the jobs. But if you have searched for 1 year and job is not coming, start one by yourself.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I had a friend. He started his business by selling akara, and he called it akara graduate, and he will go around federal secretariat selling akara. whether it was akara or no akara, that guy, before we finished serving, he had bought a car. So there's a time for you to think. The older generation wanted to stop me because they never believed
Yeah.
that you can start something big. And sincerely speaking, if you are listening to me, to do something big, you don't need big money. You just need a big gut
Oh,
and a big brain.
awesome. Awesome.
I didn't have
Awesome.
money. I had brain. And you know, when the idea started working, people started running after me with money. Say, Kola, you told me about an idea the other time. Can I invest? So I tell people, money will
Yes.
run after good idea. You have good idea. Start
Mhm.
it in any way you can start it. And people will come after you and say, you mentioned something the other time. Well, will 1 million be okay for you? You know, I started with
Please.
30,000, and later people brought 5 million. Let me just mention figures. When people started investing in the company, we gathered 5 million. Even in the midst of that, I didn't have money to input into my own company. But the only thing I told everyone that came then was that I have 30,000 and I have the idea. You have your millions, but the idea is mine.
Yeah.
I'm going
Great.
to build my own capital base or share base gradually, but you can invest in my idea. You
Yes,
understand?
absolutely. Thank you, sir. There was a question online about Background Check International by Yusuf.
Okay.
Please just type, I think it's bci.com, www. Can you give us a website?
bcilimited.com. Limited
Okay,
in full.
BC limit.
www.bcilimited.com.
Okay. So if you want to know more about Background Check International, please visit that website, bcilimited.com. There is also another question: Audacity to vision and plan needs excellent delivery. How can we relate the skill acquisition in relationship with excellent delivery?
All right. Thank you so much for that question, Oluwadamilare. The most important thing that you need most times is actually that skill acquisition. Any idea that comes to you, don't just keep it like that. Do research. If there are online courses that you can take necessary online courses. Thank God for YouTube. Go on YouTube, listen to hundreds of videos talking about that thing you want to do. You understand? And you talk about excellent delivery. Excellent delivery happens on the long run. Just have your skill acquisition, your idea, and your audacity to make something happen. Just go. We did many things wrong when I first started. It's now that we are talking about excellent delivery, and people are saying, wow, your reporting is so fantastic. Wow, your people. But at first, it was, we were learning on the job. You understand? Because there was nobody to copy in Nigeria, because the idea was totally alien to us in Nigeria. You understand? So please don't be afraid to start. Don't even say, oh, what if I don't do it well? You are not likely to do it well at first. It's just like a child learning to walk. They are going to rise and fall, rise and fall, rise and fall, until a time will come that they will rise and no more fall and start running. So just have anything you want to venture into. Don't be a novice in them. Get enough information. You won't get the 100% information. Best 50, 60, 70% information, yet start and then balance the remaining 30% or 40% as you're going on. That's the way to do it. But don't be afraid to start. Start.
All right. Thank you so much, Brocola. Just to let all our viewers know that Brocola is also an author, and I think I have his book here. Yes, Through It All. Okay, yes, we can see it. He's the author of Through It All, and you can also visit the website where's the web? www.tia.com.ng. It will be scrolling very soon to read his full story about how he became audacious from how he grew up to the point where he is. It's particularly impressive to know that he started with 5 staff and now they have grown to 100 in few years. So it is all about audacity. And remember,
in
when we
17 years.
started, we said in 17 years. Amazing. Time flies. Remember when we started, we said success is a child of audacity. And Brocola has also said it again. One character of success is audacity. He wasn't with us on the first day. So that's how I believe that also, God is talking to all of us at this point, even when we were not all deciding, oh, this is what we're going to say. Success is a child of audacity, and one character of success is having audacity to do everything. So please write your vision down. We went into vision board yesterday. Our speaker yesterday has also written some things. I think she's in a place where the network is not very stable, but we'll read it at the end for us. The essence is to plan, implement, and then you succeed. And success is all about making gradual progress. She mentioned yesterday that, look, even if you want to learn to sew and the first dress you sew is not is not looking like what you can even wear yourself, still put in an effort, the second would also work very well. So please, let's learn, let's plan, let's implement. All right, thank you so much, Brocola. We appreciate the time that you have spent with us. If you can still stay with us, we'll appreciate that. But we're moving to the next speaker, who is
All
going to
right.
tell us
Thank you for
how
having me.
do we become. Thank you so much, and we're grateful that you're able to make it today. We appreciate you. All right, so moving on, we would also have opportunity for question and answer. We have a few minutes before we round up today. We did say that we're going to extend beyond 1 hour, so we're finishing around 12 today. Moving on, we want to learn how to become the person that God has created us to be. And we're going to be talking about becoming what we were supposed to be. And the person that will be taking us is Joy Onyema. And I'm going to introduce Joy before you help me welcome her on board. Joy is somebody that is also many things to many people. I don't know how we decided on people that are speakers in this conference. There are many things to many people, and they have also challenged me. So, Joy Onyema is a trained architect. Interesting. Who has had the opportunity to bring to life the several housing estates in the city of Abuja, Nigeria. She's a digital entrepreneur who believes everyone and every business has a level playing field in the digital economy, and as such, anyone can choose to be whoever they decide to be. She's a founder of Digital J Kano, where she offers her exceptional digital skills in content writing and copywriting to individuals, busy professionals, entrepreneurs, and business owners to help them grow their business or brands. Joy is on a mission to help at least 100 people get found online and make money from what they already know this year, 2022. So, Joy is going to be speaking to us about becoming who we were meant to be. Please help me welcome Joy Onyema as our next speaker. Thank you very much, Joy. You're welcome. Joy, we can't hear you. You're muted.
Again. So you
So
can
you
hear me
have,
now, right?
Yes, we can hear you. You have to start all over again.
Sorry about that. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I want to thank Mr. Kola Olubodi for that first session. It was mind-blowing. It was a very powerful one, and I wrote down a lot. And some of what he told us is also part of what I'm going to be talking about today. So, our first day, we learned about audacity. To be a success in life, you have to be audacious. You have to push yourself because nobody will do it for you. And in the second day, we learned about vision board, your vision board. Now, it's good to have great vision. It's good to have a vision board. But how do you achieve those things that you have put on your vision board? Today, we are going to be talking about becoming who you are. The first time I saw our list of program, the breakdown, the first thing I said was, will people understand what it means, what becoming who you are already means? Then we talked about it, and I said, no problem, let's leave it there. You know, we did not make a mistake putting becoming who you are as a title because you already are. God has put in you all that you need to be the person He created you to be. But how do you make those things happen? We are visual beings as human beings. How do we know those things that God has deposited in you? Now, we all know gold. Gold is a raw material that is used in a lot of industries, jewelry, electric, they use it for a few electrical parts and so many other things. But when I was doing my research, there's no industry that uses gold in its raw form. Most of them have to refine it. They put it through a lot of processes before they can put it to use. The same way, like Mr. Kola also mentioned during his session, that a child has to learn how to walk, to talk, to relate with people, to do things. Doesn't make that child a less of a human being. You have to learn to walk, to talk, to be an adult. So if you decide today that, hey, I want to become who I want to be, how do I do that? You have to start from all the raw deposits that God put in you. Every human being has something or so many things because a lot of people don't even discover some of the raw potentials God put in them. So this class, we're going to be talking about the few things you can do to refine those raw materials that God has put inside of you and help yourself become who you want to be. So I have a few points here, about 10 of them. And because of my time, I'm going to be running through them quickly. The first one is, who are you? I know somebody there will say, why are you asking me that question? That's why I came for this class. But I'd like to put it back to you. Who are you? Or if you reframe it in another way, who do you want to be? We all know inside of us, nobody can help you answer that question. Only you can answer that question yourself. In order to set the right goals, have the right plans, and achieve what you want to achieve, you need to know who you are. And like Steve Jobs said, he said your heart already knows where you want to go. Just follow it. You already know what you want to be. Those dreams that you have when you are alone in your room, those things you don't want to talk to anybody about. In fact, you may even have some of them and you're talking about them daily. What are those things that every time you close your eyes, you think about them? They give you pointers to who you are supposed to be. Yes, it's not everybody that will hear an audible voice saying, oh, my daughter, I've called you to be this, I've called you to be that. Or my son, you have to do this, you have to do that. Some of us, you have to discover it for yourself. And it begins with you by answering that question. You are a concept. That was what I learned in one of my business classes. My friend registered me for a business class, and the coach said, see, you are a concept. What concept are you? Who are you? What do you want to be? What industry do you want to leave your mark in? There are so many fields in this life. There are so many areas you can make an impact and add value. What is it for you? It's not everybody that went to university. Like I went to university, I studied architecture. Yes, some people may go to architecture school and they end up doing a different thing entirely. But you have to define it for yourself. So start by defining what you want to do, who you want to be. If at the end of the day you leave this world, what do you want people to say about you? See, it begins with that, your vision. I know we did our vision board yesterday, but what did you write there? Those things you wrote there, are those things exactly true to who you really want to be? Okay, so the first thing, decide for yourself, define it. Like in the business world, we say carve your own niche. What do you want to be known for? What do you want to be? Who are you? Okay, so you have to answer that question. Now, the second part is, I said here, have a plan. Yesterday we did vision board. It's good to have vision board though. You put it, I want to make 500,000 naira a year. I want to do this. I want to earn this. I want to do that. There's so many do's. But how will you get there? There's a popular saying that says, he who plans, he who does not plan, you fail at the end of the day. He who fails to plan plans to fail, something like that. So have a plan. Your daily habits should be planned in such a way that you are achieving those things that you put on your vision board daily. Your habits will show. If you say, oh, I want to read 10 books in a day, or I want to read 12 books this year, how will you achieve that 12 books? Your plan, when you set your plan, it follows goal setting. So vision board does not work except you set the right goals and you follow through. It's okay to have vision, you can set the goals, but if you don't do them, the things that will make you achieve those goals, your vision board will still be there 10, 20 years, 5 years, 1 year, depending on how many years goals you set there. So have a plan and set the right goals. Example, your goals, like we all know goal setting. I'm sure you've heard one or two things about how to set the right goals. Your goals have to be smart. They have to be specific. They have to be measurable. They have to be achievable. They have to be realistic and time bound. When you set a goal, I want to make more money this year, that's ambiguous. How much do you want to make? Then when you have determined what you want to do, then break it down into smaller bits. When you break down your goals, it becomes easier for you to achieve them. Let's say the first example I gave, that you say, oh, I want to read 12 or let's say 36 books this year. If you break it down monthly, it simply means that you're supposed to read at least 3 books every month. Now, if you break it further down into daily goals, you find that you should be doing at least maybe 15 minutes reading a day to even achieve 10 days for a book, 10 days for one book. 3 books means at least you should be reading 1 book for 10 days. Then you break it further down into the number of hours you're going to be using. That is how you're supposed to break down your goals. Break it into the smallest bit to make it easy for you to follow through. But if you just put the goals big there or write the vision so bold and you don't set goals to achieve them, guess what? You still come back next year and we'll be talking about the same thing. So have a plan, daily plan, monthly plan, yearly plan, whatever plan, but make sure you set the right goals and follow through. Then the third one I wrote here, I said, get a mentor. You see, there are 2 ways to achieve something in life or become whoever you want to be, right? The first one is try and error. You learn from your mistake, do this, today it doesn't work, tomorrow you fall, you rise. I call it the DIY lifestyle. It's okay if that's the route you choose, but there's another route, which is looking for people or someone who has achieved that thing that you want to achieve and then following through. Let them mentor you. They become your guide. They become like a support to tell you when you are going to the bush and they drag you out and say, come back here, go this way. Mentorship will cut short your effort in half. So if you try and error was supposed to take you like 20 years to get to where you're supposed to be, sometimes it will take you like 5 years, 7 years. Okay, it cuts short the stress of doing trial and error. It cuts short your effort in half. Okay, so get a mentor. I didn't know that, but I have a mentor today. In fact, I'm thinking of adding more mentors. You should have mentors in different areas of your life. But if you find one mentor who can mentor you in every area, then congratulations. But if not, find somebody, a mentor that will guide you. It helps you. In fact, it will reduce all those trial and error. At least you'll be learning from the person's experiences, you'll be learning from the person's mistake, you'll be learning a whole lot that will have taken you years before you discover that. So get a mentor if you want to get there fast. Also, then number 4, I said disrupt your patterns. Now, this one, I included it here because I learned about this a few months ago. I think I attended a class, I think by Jay Shetty, and he was talking about disrupting your pattern. And I found out that this was one of the things that affected me as a person. Now, if you are team, I'm an introvert here, congratulations, let's raise our hands, or type in the comment that hey, team introvert, or team I don't know how to do this, or team I just like staying indoors. Please, this year, if you want to become who you actually want to be, you cannot keep feeding yourself the same narrative every time. Disrupt your patterns. What are patterns? Patterns are the ways you do certain things. Like you go to the same restaurant, you eat the same food, you meet up with the same people day in, day out. How then do you learn? See, it's not only in school that you learn. Bulk of our learning comes from people and experiences. But when you don't have a different pattern, you have just one routine-like pattern, you don't learn any new thing. So disrupting your patterns will help you experience more. It will expose you to much more experiences. So disrupt your pattern this month. In fact, this year, disrupt your pattern. If you have a restaurant that you've been going through, or you have the same friends, like make new friends, meet new people, go out more, take classes that are topics that are beyond what you normally do, things that you never think of. Think of that. Like maybe you don't know how to swim, take a swimming class. You don't know how to cook, man, who says you have to be a chef? But that experience may actually change your life, because I know a lot of successful people who have discovered what they want to do in life just from maybe a class they took of just 1 week or 2 hours or 3 hours. So this year, disrupt your plan. Don't keep doing the same things you do and expect a different result. Nothing will change. So disrupt your patterns. Number 5, I said build healthy relationships through networking. Your network is your net worth. I'm sure you have heard that so many times, and it is true. When I say I put in healthy relationship here because it is not all relationships that are healthy. Some relationships are not good for you as a person. So you want to find relationships that will make you better, whether personally, business-wise, or just find people who will help you become better people. There's this friend of mine I have. I don't joke with her at all, because every time she comes around, we don't sit down discussing stupid things. We discuss business, investment, personal things, how we better our life. And those are the kinds of friends and relationships you should be looking out for this year. Not just that, you make friends with people who are more successful than you are. See, our mindset your mindset is a funny tool, is a great tool, but when you have a fixed or certain mindset, it's difficult for you to break in and move into the area or the level you want to be. But guess what? When you mix with people who are more knowledgeable than you, who are more learned than you, who are more successful than you pick a few things. They say when you work with 6 successful people, that you become the next person. And that is not a lie. So look for relationships that will help you. Network. Go out where there are people discussing good things. Go and meet them. I'm particularly putting healthy here because it's not all. Business-wise, personal development classes, attend seminars, go to conferences where they are discussing things that will help you. It will change your life and it will help you, because even God, when he wants to bless a man, he will also look for another man who will bless you. Okay, that's why you always hear people talking about destiny helpers. Yes, God will still bless you using another man or another person. So invest in networking this year. And there are 2 ways to network. You can network online and you can also network offline. There's no one is not better than the other. Online, look for people who are influencers in their own niche. They don't have to have 100,000 followers, 5,000, 2,000. The thing is, invest in relationships that will help you become a better person. Okay, so number 6, I said, put yourself out there. This is for all the people that are saying, abeg, this online thing is not for me. Online thing is the new thing now. We are living in a digital economy. In fact, the world is moving towards another definition of digital. Digital has changed entirely. And if you are not online, then you should start thinking of, in fact, this month, look for a platform where you will showcase all that God put in you. Like, your gifts and talent are there, they are still in the raw state. How do we know you'll have those talents if we don't even know what you can do? So put yourself out there means that look for somewhere where you can get people to see that thing that you have in you. You know how to sing, but we can't know that now. When you have decided that it's only your bathroom and God that will only hear you sing. Let's say Lagbaja knows how to create websites. How do we know you know how to create websites when you have never created anyone that we can see? So put yourself out there. Online is a new thing. You don't have to spend a ton of money to put yourself out there. Start from where you are. If you say, oh, I'm too shy, I'm camera shy. My dear, if you're camera shy, use your voice. There's something called podcast. We all cannot be on video at the same time, especially if you are camera shy. Start from where you are. If you're shy, start a podcast. Use your voice. Or you write. Put text out there. You know, sometimes when somebody sends me a friend request on Facebook and I go to your page and I'm seeing an empty page, you're only putting your pictures. In fact, you may be there on that request for a long time, because how do I know the kind of person that you are? How do I know how you think? Because how you think, who you are, they are all, you can find them from what you write, from what you say. So putting yourself out there is a critical point this year. So this is 2022. So if you are online or you have any social media page and you're not writing anything, please, let's make a change. This year, optimize all your profiles and start putting something out there. Like we said in point 1, I said, who do you want to be? Carve out your own niche. Let's say, for example, you want to talk about, you want to let people know that, oh, I'm good in so and so. Keep writing about that thing. That is how people will discover you. A lot of people have gotten jobs just by submitting their social media profile. CVs are no longer the physical CV that you hand out. CVs have become all your channels online. So if you are team, I don't like online things, please reconsider, okay? It will help you this year. So put yourself out there so that people can know and see those things that God has put inside of you. Also, putting yourself out there helps you refine your skills. Let's say, for example, the first post I put out on Instagram or Facebook, when you check it, I'm sure you will know that, okay, this one is a newbie. But when you look at the post I write now, I have developed. So putting yourself out there, you keep doing. Let's say, oh, content writer, you keep writing. Write every day. You become an habit, become a practice. As you're writing, you're discovering areas that you need to develop. Okay, so keep doing that because it gives you a platform to practice what it is you want to become. All right, so the seventh point I said, invest in and develop yourself. Nobody will develop yourself for you. You have to do things your way. Like the future that you are preparing for, start preparing for it now. That future that you are seeing, all those things that you put on your vision board, your 10-year goal, your 5-year goal, whatever those visions are, it's now that you start preparing for them. You cannot feature in a future you don't prepare for. I've heard that several times. I said, let me repeat it for you. So start preparing now. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Invest in yourself. Now, the knowledge and the things you did that got you to where you are currently, they will not be the same things that will take you to the next level that you're looking for. You will need to learn new skills, develop new habits, like different things to get you to that next level. So if you have, like when we were in school, one of our lecturer is fond of saying that I've lost my train of thought. All the same, I say invest and develop yourself. When I remember that, I'll still tell you the story. So develop yourself, read books. Books are ways to, when you go to traditional schools or you take courses or you buy online courses, you take online classes or even a physical class, you are paying heavily for those classes. But books are ways to get knowledge, the cheapest way to get knowledge. So when I find somebody who say, I don't read books, that day you said that thing, you cease to be my friend. I run away from anybody who doesn't read. Apart from the fact that it gives you information, there's something books do to your mentality. It helps you. You see, one book at a time, you are learning something. That is why you should invest in and develop yourself. It's nobody's responsibility. It is your responsibility. You are as good as you decide to be. You are as knowledgeable as you choose to be. You are as developed as you choose to be. So this year, invest in yourself, not just in your business or see your development as a person. Take personal development serious because personal development and success, they are brother and sister. They are like bread and butter. Yes. So if you have a bad character and you become rich and successful someday, it may affect you. They said your attitude determines your altitude. So personal development and success or whatever, becoming who you are, they go hand in hand. So develop yourself, not just investing in books. There are other ways to learn. You learn by experience. You don't have to experience something to learn from other people. There are stories around us. Don't just listen to a story. Don't just watch movies. Don't just see people on the road. Learn from them. Everybody's life is like a book. You can learn from it. You don't wait until something happens to you before you say, oh, I heard this story. Learn from it. So as you meet people daily, as you read, as you watch movies, as you do everything you do is a learning curve for you. So keep learning because the day you stop learning is the day you start dying. I'm sure most of us, when we were leaving school, especially university, we tell ourselves, I will never read any book again. But I'm sure a lot of us have found out that that speech is just to help yourself because of the excitement that, hey, I finally graduated. But learning never stops. Your learning continues until the day you die. So keep learning. But when I say learning, I mean intentional learning. Okay? Make your learning intentional, in line with those things that you want to achieve. It's good to register for courses, but be careful. Don't let copywriters use you to shine. If you say, okay, I want to make maybe $10,000 this month. What will you do to make the 10,000? What are the skills you need? What are the knowledge you need? You have to develop that. So make your learning in line with the things that you have set for yourself. You will look at your vision board and say, oh, I have to get so and so place by so and so year. But how do you get there? Okay, what are the skills you need to add to the ones you already have? What are the new things that you need to learn in order to get to that point? So invest in and develop yourself. Okay. Number 8, I say practice visualization and affirmation. Thoughts are things, words are seeds. Your life can never be different from the picture you have of yourself and the words that you speak daily. You know, for the first time, even science is agreeing with the word of God on a lot of things today. Practice visualization. When you close your eyes, what do you see? Even with all the things that are not going right, you should learn to see and think the right thoughts in your mind. Because when you think thoughts, you are creating. We are creative beings. When you think about a thing, your mind will say, oh, I'm just imagining it. You're not just imagining, you're creating it. Because eventually those images that you see, they eventually become events in your life, and you'll be wondering, when did I get here? Your words, they go in the direction of your life. So if you have a future that is bright, you start speaking those words. When you speak one word, you just sow the seed. And the more you keep saying those words, you are watering it. So be careful what you think, and be careful the words that come out of your mouth. Even the Bible says that you are ensnared with your word and you are condemned with your word. So be careful what you say with your mouth. Things may be going on, no problem, but keep speaking those things that you want to see. Because the Bible even says life and death are in the power of the tongue. So if you're all one of those people that say, I just said it, I'm joking. Don't joke with those kind of things again. At least you didn't know before, now that you know. Be careful what you say. Then all those things, you see the essence of vision board. It says you create your vision board and put it where you'll be seeing it. Because when you look at those vision board, it should influence your visualization. Be imagining yourself achieving those things that are on your vision board. And when negative thoughts or negative images want to come, cancel them. We are creative beings. So learn to create by imagining the right images. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Thinking goes in lines with your thoughts, and thoughts are what? They are images. Thoughts are things. So don't just think the right thoughts. Visualize the right things. Then use your words to affirm. Make positive affirmation. Sow seeds into your life daily. Because whether you like it or not, with time, they will produce the results. Okay, so the next one, I said, take calculated risk. The first week I was talking about you should take risk. He mentioned it in one of his sessions. He said, take risk. There's this book I read, and they were talking about the comfort zone. The comfort zone is a great zone to be. It's a great place to be. And most people enjoy that place. There's no stress. You're not thinking of what to do. You're not taking action. You're not doing anything. Just be there. It's okay to be in a comfort zone if that is where you want to be. But if you have things to achieve and things to be and to become who you want to be or who you already are, you have to get out of your comfort zone. If you want to walk on water, get out of the boat. I saw that somewhere, and every time I remember comfort zone, that is what comes to my mind. Peter walked on the water because he got out of the boat. So leave your comfort zone. Take calculated risk. If you fail, you learn from it. There's no failure anywhere, only lessons. So all that, and what if I fail? Yeah, what if you fail? You learn from it. You learn how not to do it that way. That is what risk involves. Take calculated risk. But remember, take the risks that are in line with your vision. That's why vision board gives you direction. So take calculated risks in line with your vision. Okay? So get out of your comfort zone. I'm telling you now, whatever it is you want to do, you need to be audacious. That is the thing, the title for this summit, Audacity to Be. You need to be audacious. You need to have courage. There's a book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Do it anyway. It's okay. Courage is you being courageous in the face of fear. So have courage. Some things, yesterday we were talking, they say if your visions don't scare you, then you set a very small goal. Your vision should be big enough that when you think about it, you say, hey, how do I achieve this thing? But yes, you need courage. You need to be audacious. You need to be bold so that you can go after those things that you want to do. Then the last part, I said, make God a big plan, a big part of your plan, a big part of your life. As human beings, there's a lot we can achieve on our own. But even the Bible says you should not lean on your own understanding. Because there are some things we as humans will see and say, oh, this thing is good. But when you enter there, if you also want to avoid trial and error, bring God into your plans. He said the planning belongs to a man. He said, but the answer of the tongue is from God. So to avoid trial and error, contact God. In fact, God should be the first person you talk to about your plans. Make him a big part of your life. Add prayer to it. There's so many things that we do and be in the process of discovering or becoming who you want to be. You need God. So make God a big part of your plan. We have talked about a lot. Becoming who you are, you need to be audacious. That was what we learned. So if you have also set a vision board based on what we did yesterday, and you look at those vision board and they don't reflect who you are, it's time to go back. You need to set a vision that defines you, that is in line with the values, that is in line with all the things that you are about. But before I round up, I want to say something. I know there are different age groups watching me here. There are 20s, there are 30s, and people that are above 40. Look, I know there's this thing there's an adage or a word that's always going around. People say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but that's a lie. We are not dogs, we are human beings. You can wake up tomorrow and say, hey, I want to do this, and you will do it. Do not let your age be an excuse for not starting that business or for not taking that lead. Do not let age be the reason you give yourself excuses. I know I've been there also. If you're in your 20s, it's your time to discover if you have not discovered. A lot of people, like Ubon King of blessed memory said, your 20s is the time for you to try out things. So that disrupt your pattern that I talked about, I think is majorly for you in your 20s. Try new things. Learn different skills because you don't know the one that you finally decide to go with. But if you have only few skills or few experiences, how will you know? That is when confusion will set in. Then if you are in your 30s, it's still not too late if you have not discovered. Guess what? That thing that you find your hand doing, keep doing it, because it's in doing that one that you're already doing that you will discover the one that you're supposed to be doing. But never let, oh, I don't know what to do, or I don't have anything that I like, be an excuse for you to just sit down lazing around. No. Whatever your hand find to do it well, diligently, because it's in doing that one that you discover the one that you're supposed to do. And finally, to those who are above 40, it's okay. Learn new things. If you want to take a new course, please go to school. Whatever it is you want to do, age is just a feeling. Okay, I know a lot of people are, oh, I'm 30. What if I start this thing now? Before you know what, I'll be 35. Yeah, even if you don't start it, before you know what, that age will still meet you there. So never let age be an excuse for not doing what you should do. So as I round up, finally, God has deposited a whole lot in you, but we will not know and we will not see it if you decide to be like that guy with the one talent who decided to go and bury it somewhere. Refine your skills just like gold. There are processes you go through in life. All those challenges that come, they are not to break you down. The challenges come to help you become who you actually are. Like the first speaker said, that God said in his word that the goals I have for you, that plans of good and not of evil, to give you an expected end. So don't jump processes. Go through them, knowing that you become a better person as you go through them, because you learn and you implement that thing you have learned. So this year, don't just plan, implement. When you have implemented, then you can now start counting your successes. Okay? So plan your day, plan your month, implement. Implementation is key. A lot of people, I see that online a lot. A lot of people, they learn freebie today, freebie tomorrow. But if you implement even that, just that one freebie that you are getting, then you will know that yes, you will see results. Okay? So in rounding up, I wish you all a wonderful 2022. As you implement all that you have learned in these 3 days, I know that you will not just become who you want to be, you'll be so much more. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Joy. I think this summit is actually for me, because now I have learned more than the people that are actually joining us online. All right. Thank you so much. Three key things I'm taking out of Joy's session, and I'm just going to emphasize that before we move on. One, disrupt your patterns. A lot of us are used to certain ways of doing things, and we're very comfortable doing it. I'm one of them. I don't like social media before, but at some point I had to disrupt the patterns, because one of the person that is in the background today, working behind the scenes to make sure that all of these things are broadcasted, just walked up to me and said, "You have a lot to offer, ma, and I can't see you online." And Joy also told me one day, "I visited your page on Facebook and Instagram and I can't see anything. Meanwhile, I know you." So they disrupted my patterns and they helped. So two, build healthy relationship. I used to tell people that, look, if your friends are not adding value to you, please change them. That means they are not meant for you. So it's either you're adding value to them and they're adding value to you. That's what friendship is all about. And then he says, make God a big part of your plan. We know that without him, we can't do anything, irrespective of your faith. God must be in the picture, because he's the one that can help you. I'm going to read something from our speaker yesterday who helped us with the vision board, because I'm not sure she's able to join us online now. Okay, so she said that she's in a noisy environment. Now she said, now you have listened and learned that success is the brainchild of Audacity. And you have also learned that there is character for success. And who you would become is in you already, which Joy has emphasized for us. And then you have your vision board. For those of us that didn't join us yesterday, the vision board was the idea of creating a picture of what you want to become this year, next year, for the next 2 years or 5 years. And some of us are able to draw up the vision board. I'm going to show you a preview of mine again, but I am hopeful that I would make this into a beautiful thing at the end of the day. So just get yourself a cardboard, some colorful pieces of paper, and write what you want to become, or you can also put some pictures of that thing and then break it down into smaller parts. So she said, what next is to look carefully at your vision board. Take each picture or desire, break it down into actionable steps. Some people add this to their board, but I like to do this in my journals for proper dissection because you will use a lot of them, dates for reference. Take each picture and drill down on the things that will make it work. Who do I need in terms of mentors? Joy also mentioned that for us. What stages of my life? Plus, do I really need to learn from them? What do I need? What discipline do I need to imbibe every day to arrive at this result? What trainings, career path, skills do I need to be the person I've envisioned on my board to become? This is a lifelong process. For instance, you have written 35 on your board, which symbolizes the age you plan to retire from active employment and begin to promote your own businesses or gifts in ways that attract effective income. You choose this age because you desire to settle in marriage at that age and have children and desire to be in charge of your time and schedule to give your family quality care. You need to know, you need to learn various skills. Apply yourself diligently to the opportunities you find to do and consistently learn. This would profile you the blessing of options as to the design your life will take when you retire. You are equipped to design your business and on multiple streams of income and passion. Some of those pictures you have pasted on your vision board will take 1 month, some 3 years, some 10 years. As you journey along, you will design the timelines prayerfully too, if you like. But the beauty of becoming is ensuring you work towards it every day till you become it. That's why drilling down on what needs to be done on quarterly, yearly, daily basis is very key. Let me give you another example. For instance, you decide to study sociology with a view to impact society later as a philanthropist. You will need to pay the price of studying the course first. As you do so, you will find opportunities to intern at NGOs. Take them. You may need to spend some years learning the intricacies of development work through research, short projects funded by you and friends or family, or by working with development agencies. Take on various roles over time. This makes you thoroughbred for your vision, and it comes to you because you have become a version of yourself that your dream recognizes. Or you wrote down an organization you desire to work with. Beautiful. Research what's needed to be in there and map out your plan. Research is also very key. Be a person of why and how. Such people are the ones who question status quo and then be audacious to proffer solution to what no longer works or could be better. Now, I missed a point with regards by learning by reading books. Another way is to join a book club or have a network of friends or acquaintances or family that want to build same skill. Choose books and read them together. If you're in a book club, there will be times books are chosen that you sincerely are not interested in reading and may not finish them. What you could in those instances is personally choose other books that month and ensure you read still. Remember, the focus is you developing you. Above all, rely on God and avail yourself to the journey He will design for you. He knows the end from the beginning, so walk with Him this year and beyond. I wish you the very best in all you do. Thank you. Adesua Ehinome Ilobe. So that is the rounding off of the vision board from our speaker yesterday. And I believe that we have also learned from the speakers today and from day one. We are gradually coming to the end of the maiden edition of Audacity to be. So I'd like to take questions at this point for the next 5 minutes before we wrap up. If there are questions, please let's type in the chat box as we close this session. And while we are waiting for the questions, I'm going to introduce us to a couple of books that I feel would help us as we become audacious and as we become who God wants us to be. Joy mentioned this book. Interestingly, I think I read this book. What year was this? Maybe 2001 or so. So you can see how it is right now. It says, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. How to turn your fear and indecision into confidence and action. You can find the book in any bookshop. Please, I encourage you to read it because a lot of us go through fear. I was afraid at different points in my life, but I just went ahead and did what I wanted to do. I refer to this a lot on the first day when we're breaking down what Audacity to be entails. Ben Carson, Think Big. I think it will also help you. There is Up You by Ezine Kufre Ekanem. I also encourage you to read this. These are the books that have helped me. We talked about the book by one of our speakers, Through It All. And Adesua too has authored 3 books. I'll get them out now. And then if you want to know how to get out of adversity, this is the book to read by me. You know, I feel good. Out of the Depths. So when I went into the dark tunnel of this world, how I came out, you can learn all of that in this book. And I'll encourage you to read all of the books that I've put up there. I'm still waiting for the questions. In case there are questions that everybody wants to ask. Trying to get Adesua's book out. Questions, we're waiting. Okay, I can see one of Adesua's book. This is Baby by Me. They're all fictions, and then there's another one, The Farm, and then there's another one that I can't lay my hands on right now, but I'm sure we can all search for Adesua on Instagram, and she would be a blessing to you by reading our books. So I'm still waiting for questions. Looks like we all got everything, so there are no questions. Okay. Right. All right, so I'd like to say thank you, everyone. If you have any further questions, please send your questions to talk@fumioyefusi.com. We have your email address for those who registered, and I would like to say thank you very much for those who registered. We would be communicating with you through email, but if you want to communicate with us, send your questions to talk@fumioyefusi.com. You can also follow us on the YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is just Fumilayo Oyefusi, and I'd like you to subscribe. You can find all the videos, the recording of the Audacity to be from Thursday, yesterday, and today on my channel. Thank you, everyone, for being part of this, and we look forward to seeing you again at the next summit. I don't know when it will be, but we'll communicate that. I want to appreciate the technical crew at the back end. And I also like to say, Damilola, thank you so much for being a blessing. Thank you to all our speakers, Adesua, Joy, Kola Olugbodi, and from my very self, Fumilayo Oyefusi. Thank you, and see you again at the next summit. Bye-bye. Wow. Are we offline?